Uh, Good evening to all of you. Sabko mera namaskar. I think being a woman, I thought you decided the woman should have the last word. Thank you so much. The authors, I read the book with great interest. Unlike most of them, I've only met Modi ji but never interacted with him. So I thought the book was wonderful. The author's background makes him uniquely qualified for writing the book. He is a development scholar, author, public policy advocate, and leadership trainer, known for his pioneering development work with rural and tribal people. I would rather say that he brings in what we have been arguing, that a narrative power, that any civilization state like India or China, which are the only two civilization states, and let us be proud of it, because all other civilizations have gone by the wayside. There are only two civilization states that have entered the fourth industrial revolution. So his argument that we need narrative power to sustain what I call the civilizational paradigm shift. And hence, I think the book is extraordinarily important, not only for those who are admirers of leadership, also for universities and other places where narrative power sustains political power. Today, we have the wokes, as Shashi ji mentioned, who have external interference with their internal saboteurs. That is because they have created an ecosystem with an echo chamber. So I think the plea of the author is that we also should create a narrative power that would sustain political power. And we would see this in the leadership of our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. The subject is also unique because leadership roles in India are, what to say, the existing studies that have been done on a plethora of leaders are literally, as rightly said by the author, taken from Western models. As he rightly said, the Western models are not bad, but they're binary. Indian civilization doesn't view reality in binary terms. It is not either or. If you're a hero, you're not a villain. You have the image of Ravana, who is an anti-hero, a great Shiva Bhakta. So we have what we call concentric circles. And hence, I think he's bringing in very important ideas in the book of Rajadharma, which emphasizes ethical governance and the welfare of the people above all else. And the ability to govern in such a way, the leader should aim to show what he says, Yogakshema and Loka Sangraha, the societal welfare. I think the book stands out according to me because it brings in what I call the Indic civilizational aspects. It connects tradition with modernity, something that we have lost, unfortunately, maybe due to invasions and the colonial impact. And any invasion usually tries to put down a culture, wipe down, say you're inferior. Whereas, and I think it believed, Goebbels, tell a lie and repeat it 10 times, it becomes the gospel truth. So he is trying to revive in us back. What is it? I've always been saying that today there is a fight between two ideas. One is the idea of the wokes or the left liberal system versus the Indic civilizational system. And this is going to be a thesis, antithesis. I don't know, I don't think a synthesis is possible. But the reason that we in India need to go back to our roots is something that he has brought out extremely well. I also see the book extremely fresh and convincing. Unlike similar works on leadership, this focuses more on practice and practical aspects of leadership rather than giving theoretical impositions. It captures the civilizational wisdom of Bharat in the context of Prime Minister Modi's tenure as Prime Minister and Chief Minister and his public life. And it also gives rich in anecdotes, giving a soul to the overall subject of the book. Emphasizes Modi's personal abilities, which are reflected in his style of leadership, that is, tendency towards consensus based decision making, hard work. As he says, it's 24/7, there's no office hours. Communication style, and open approach to listening to others. I would also say that he brings about many of the ideas of Modi's speeches are not centered on rhetoric or Western thoughts. Usually, they are instead focused on a mix of authenticity, strategic messaging, and engaging in storytelling. To weave a narrative that rallies people around a cause rather than against something negative. In this sense, the book speaks of a positive model of communication. He also brings in the very important aspect of Modi and women's empowerment, Nari Shakti. I think but for this government, I wouldn't be here. Let me be also very honest, because the credit must go both to the Sangh and to Prime Minister Modi to have the courage to have brought me to JNU at a very critical phase when JNU was totally polarized. And I think that is because he believed in the Indic civilization. I always say Indic civilization is a feminist civilization. Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. And all are who have the powerful portfolios in Indra's cabinet. Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. Knowledge is power. And Mahalakshmi, wealth. And Parvati or Durga, power. Michael Foucault says power is knowledge. So in both ways it's with women. And all our gods are named after their wives, not vice versa. Umapati, Sitapati, Lakshmipati. There is no Patini. So hence I agree with you, sir. The Indic civilization is a great civilization. We believe in balance and harmony and an inclusiveness which he has brought out. And not only this, also with Modi and his foreign policy, and also the unusual quality of this book is it brings in, as rightly said by the author, to make each one of us leaders in ourselves, a self-awareness, what to say, the Indic or even the Buddhist way of going into one's own inner consciousness. I would also say here, he quoted the Bhagavad Gita. And here I would say that the most important shloka for me is Karmanye Vadikarasya Ma Paleshu Kadacha. And I think that is what Modi's leadership brings out. And also, sir, you brought out the idea of servants as a sevak, Pratham Sevak. I think the Servants of India Society by Gopal Krishna Gokhale was also a movement that brought in this, that all public servants are servants of the people, not masters. And I think Prime Minister Modi has brought this. I would only end with saying that this book brings in tradition with modernity, connects it realm with region, and continuity with change. And it is necessary that all universities take this cue and go further in connecting these ideas. In conclusion, I would say, Prime Minister Modi adds authenticity to a partnership in democracy. No elected leader in a democracy today can match the popularity of the Indian Prime Minister Modi's covenant with the world's largest swath of free voters, which remains unbroken. If authenticity is what some leaders lack, even as they seek an eternal mandate, PM Modi has it in abundance. And I think this is one of a path-breaking book. Would request each one of you to read. Maybe, sir, we will also put it up in our social sciences. JNU Social Sciences School has one of the strongest things. Why I'm saying it is we beat IITs and IIMs to the highest rank, giving the Ministry of Education the best ranking. And JNU got the first rank. Our 20th rank in the international. So I think there's a very good book. We would like you to invite you to JNU as well. Thank you so much for a wonderful book. And I would request all of you to connect the way he has connected to our roots. Thank you once again. Namaskar. Jai Hind.